There comes a time in your life when your desire to change must outweigh your desire to remain the same. If this is your time, I want you to know that whatever your circumstances are, you're exactly where you need to be right now. You are stronger than you know. You deserve to live in your purpose and to have a happy and fulfilling life. You're worth keeping your promises to yourself. Every single thing you've done until this point has been enough. You are enough. You always were. My greatest desire is for you to give yourself permission to take a chance on you because you're worth it. Welcome to the True Growth podcast. I am Latina Mata, your mindset coach. And in this podcast, we explore and learn all things related to self-love, self-discovery, and inner work. It is the foundation to help you navigate life and make the necessary internal shifts to become the very best version of yourself. It is my greatest pleasure to be with you right here, right now. Throughout this podcast, we get to grow through what we go through together. Welcome to another episode of the True Growth podcast. And in today's episode, we are going to look at 3 practical things you can do so that you can feel better about yourself. And I know that is such a weird topic, but it has come up so many times with myself. It's come up so many times with clients where they're just like, you just don't feel good. You simply just don't feel good about your current situation. And I want you to know that wherever you are right now is exactly where you need to be. And if you notice that there are specific patterns of behaviors that keep coming up over and over and over, it's of course because 1, the lesson that you're supposed to learn, you've not learned it just yet, or 2, you're expecting some type of miraculous change or transformation when the things that you are doing are actually not changing, when you for yourself aren't changing. So I'm going to share with you 3 things that would help you start to feel a lot better about yourself and your current situation. Some of these things will seem so like, duh, Latina, so obvious. But the truth is, in the midst of our drama, in the midst of our inability to feel okay with our current circumstances, we may forget these really basic things. So I'm going to share with you things that I use often to help reset, to recalibrate, to regroup, and really to put me in a place to recognize like, oh shit, I am good enough. I am doing enough. I am making a difference here. And so it gives me the fuel and the recharge that I need to keep going. So the first one is decluttering. Now, that might sound like so obvious. And when I say declutter, I mean declutter. So many of us, of course, we're home now. So you're home with family, you're home with, people in your house. The house is full now. My girl, decluttering is absolutely mandatory. Do you really need all those curtains? Do you really need that entire box full of stationery that you had since you were in secondary school? Do you need to have 100 pieces of the same thing? Do you need to have 200 different cups? Yes, teacups. Do you need that? This is a sincere question. So the reason why I'm saying that is because every single thing is energy. You know that. I know that. Every single thing is energy. And when we feel anxious, we feel stressed, we feel confused, we feel as though there's no lack of clarity, I want you to look around. Most times they say, and this is not for everybody, but it's true for most, that what you see on the outside in your physical space is most certainly a reflection of what is going on with you on the inside. So you realize if you're spending a lot of time in your office or you spend a lot of time in the living room or in your bedroom and the place is in a mess, there is no part of you that feels good. You don't feel good to lay in clutter. So biggest tip number 1 as it pertains to feeling better about yourself is to get rid of things. You see, things, because everything holds energy, there are certain gifts, certain sentiments, certain things people would have given you from the past, from old relationships, from old situations that you no longer want in your life, you no longer want to deal with those people, you no longer want to deal with those things, yet you're still holding on to it. Everything carries a frequency, everything carries a vibration. And so if you have certain things that you are holding on to because there is an attachment to it, but it's not from a space of abundance and love and happiness, but it's from a space of not wanting to get rid of it because you're afraid, and there's fear and there's lack and there's this resistance to let go, that creates energetic blocks. It creates energetic blocks all around. So decluttering is absolutely mandatory in order for us to feel better about ourselves. So it sounds very simple, it sounds very straightforward, but I know that the attachment that people have to things, the attachment that you may have to some of your things, is a big part of why there may be confusion and just a general not feeling good about yourself, because there are attachments to things that no longer serve you. And once you start to clear your space and declutter your space energetically, it opens up huge flows of abundance, and it gives room for the things that you want to come into your life. So step number 1, declutter. So of course, you're not just decluttering your physical space, as in your home or your office or your car. You are to declutter your devices as well. Your phones, your laptops, your tablets, your drives, your Google Drives, like declutter. Because there's no space. When you want more, when you want to create more and open up yourself to receive, you need to start getting rid of the old. Start letting go of the shit. Just start letting it go. Easier said than done, but it's absolutely necessary. So that would bring me to being intentional, guys. So being intentional requires a certain level of conscious awareness, right? What is your intention? So the number one place that I want you to start being intentional about is social media. So since COVID, since quarantine, we spend so much more time on social media. If how much time we were spending on before wasn't enough, now it has probably like 10x for some people. So before you get on your phone, before you head to social media, before you start scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and realize that you're going to be carrying yourself down an entire deep, intense, painful, for some, rabbit hole, what is your intention before you go on social media? Are you going there for your business? Are you going there because you're trying to escape from something? Are you going there because you just want a good laugh? Are you going there because you're looking for that inspiration? Like, what is your intention? And it doesn't matter what your intention is, because to each his own, but you need to be very clear about what your intention is, so that when you begin to go down a rabbit hole, when 5 minutes of scrolling turns into 50 minutes of scrolling, you could put yourself in a particular space to be like, okay, enough is enough. I need to get up and do what it is I have to do, because you have accomplished whatever the intention was when it is you got there. And so as much as I'm loosely saying to each his own, and anybody could do and have whatever intention it is that they want to have, I'm saying be mindful of the intention. So if you notice that you are going on Instagram because you are trying to procrastinate, or you are trying to look for some grand inspirational download that you hope will come from somebody on Instagram, after you already have an idea that you're completely trying to ignore or push to the side or act like it doesn't exist. So that's two different things, right? The reason for going on your social media, be intentional about it. It would make life a lot easier, right? And what about the music that you listen to? So I have a particular friend, and my boy listens to a lot of sad music that makes him feel sad. Like if I listen to it, it will get me all in my feelings. It will get me very emo. And he listens to this type of music and then says that he's depressed, and then says that he's always sad, and then says that, it feels like really difficult to get up and do things for the day. And that is not to invalidate that he may be depressed, or to invalidate that he is dealing with some bigger things. But listening to sad music does not help you. Listening to music that brings up thoughts about your ex and has you feeling as though you're not good enough and has you comparing yourself or has you feeling as though you're a failure, like that is not conducive to the change that you want to see. That is not conducive to you feeling better about yourself. So be very, very intentional about the music that you listen to. Do a complete audit of the things that you feed yourself. So remember, your eyes and your ears are your gateways, right? So what you listen to and what you see, you need to be absolutely intentional about it, because that actually contributes to the shift. That when the things that we listen to help shape our belief system, it helps shape your belief system. And so if you're listening to things, looking at things, consuming things that are not feeding you and improving your belief system, then don't expect to see any change. Don't expect to see big growth and transitions in life. Don't expect to feel better about yourself if you are allowing negative things to come through these specific gateways that you actually have control over. So make sure when it comes to social media, when it comes to music, when it comes to video, when it comes to these things, that you are super intentional about what it is you listen to and what it is you consume every single day. So the other thing would be keeping promises to yourself. Now, I know I talk about this all the time, keeping promises to yourself, keeping promises to yourself. And the truth is, that is the only way that you are going to build your self-trust muscle. It is the only way that you are going to build your intuitive muscle. It is the only way that you are going to build your consistency muscle. By choosing, because at the end of the day, all of the things that we talk about, it may seem all whimsical. It may seem as though there's some type of magic button or something that'll just go off and change people. No. What you see on the outside, what you see as somebody's success story, what you see as a result, it was not because it just happened overnight to anybody. It was sincere, intentional action that would have been taken in a consistent manner, because that person kept their promises to themselves. As grandiose or as small as the promises were, they kept it to themselves. And so to feel good, because not everything is mind and thoughts and mind and thoughts. Your body plays a huge part in this, right? When you feel good in your body, it's easier to feel good in your thoughts. When you feel good in your body, it's easier to feel good in your thoughts. And of course, as our bodies are basically an energetic container, we need to do things that would allow us to feel good in our bodies. And the simplest ways would be to take care of your health and your wellness. So, quick story. About 3 years ago, I just let my body go loose. I just let myself go loose. And in my brain, I'm living my best life, eating gourmet food, gourmet breakfast every day. I spent most of my time eating food outside. As much as my food choices were healthy, in my opinion, so don't come for me, this is just my opinion, food cooked in restaurants and cooked in other places as, in inverted commas, gourmet, vegan, as in inverted commas, clean that they claim, they are never as clean as actual house, like home cooked meals, like meals that you cook in your home. It, for some reason, it just is not the same. And although I was living my best life, my health started to deteriorate, but I didn't notice. So I started to gain a lot of weight. My face started to break out. I started to have acne. I never struggled with acne. And I just would not feel good. I'll be tired all the time, very lethargic, etc. But why did I care? Because in my head, I was living my best life. And then I started a business, and then quarantine, COVID happened. And I realized I am so tired all the time. I'm tired all the time. My weight never affected me, but of course I did have a goal in terms of what it is I would have preferred to be for myself in terms of health and wellness. But I continued about my business, right? Until what my business required from me, I could not have physically given. Because it required me to spend more hours up. It required more creativity. It required more things of me that I could not physically do. And it's only until I took stock and started to keep promises to myself as it pertained to my health and wellness, I started to feel a full shift energetically. So I'm saying all that to say that your body keeps the score. I'm saying all that to say in order for you to feel better about yourself, you also need to be very mindful about what it is you are putting into your body. Exercise. Nobody says to go and exercise for an hour every single day for 6 days, 7 days for the week. If you are not used to working out, start with 10 minutes. 10 minutes of stretching is your maximum. 10 minutes of just skipping, jumping on one spot, dancing. That's all we need just to start to build a self-trust muscle, just to start to build this consistency muscle. Drinking water. If you're not drinking a lot of water, get a bottle that has those markings on it. Set alarms on your clock that say, hey, drink water now. And the goal is not to go from 0 to 100. The goal is for you to take things in increments. So when it comes to keeping promises to yourself, you need to set smaller goals, actionable things to do, and use that as your measurement. Use that as your compass. So to exercise, let's start 10 minutes minimum, 2 or 3 days for the week. And that is your promise that you're going to keep to yourself, right? So decluttering, being intentional, and keeping promises to yourself are like the key ingredients to start feeling better about yourself. When it comes to your creativity and your play, you need to make time for that. Creativity and play is absolutely necessary for you to feel better. And I know you might be like, Latina, I'm too stressed. I don't have the time. This, that, and the other. But the truth is, you are the only person responsible for your happiness. You are the only person responsible for your growth. You are the only person responsible for the transformation and the change that you want to see in your life. So you and we need to come out of the victimhood mindset where we want to put the blame on somebody else, where we want to wait until a particular thing happens, then we're going to do this. Okay, so when this happens, then I'm going to play. When this happens, then I'm going to start working out. When this happens, then I'm going to start the business. When this happens, then I'm going to do that. No. YOLO. You only live once. And the way that life is set up right now, tomorrow doesn't have to be. Tomorrow for some people doesn't happen. So if there are certain things that you could acknowledge in your life right now that you are able to declutter, start doing it. Before you come on social media, be intentional. Why are you going there? A big tip in terms of social media: don't go on social media as soon as you open your eye. You and I are still in your theta state. Your subconscious is still in your theta state when it is you wake up. First thing in the morning, do not go straight to your phone. Do not go straight to your phone. Be intentional about your social media use. So you're still in theta state when you get up. And to put into your brain, into your thoughts, into your energetic space what is going on social media, first thing is a disservice to yourself, because you're basically giving your power away to social media first thing in the morning. So you're not going to do that. You're not going to be intentional. You're not going to be unintentional about your social media use anymore, right? Keeping promises to yourself, that is mandatory. So if it's, you're going to start taking supplements, you're going to start working out, you're going to get to bed earlier, those type of things make you feel a lot better about yourself, because what you're telling your subconscious mind is, oh my goodness, she's keeping her promise to herself. Oh my goodness, she said she's going to do it, and look, she did it. Because what actually happens when you say, okay, I'm going to wake up early tomorrow, I'm going to read that book tomorrow, I'm going to post that thing tomorrow, I'm going to go live tomorrow, is that your subconscious mind is waiting for you to do it. And when it doesn't happen, she's like, right, sis, yeah, I knew you wasn't going to do that. And what it does, it just creates this entire loop of not being able to keep promises to yourself, keeps this entire loop of feeling guilty, feeling like you're not good enough, like you should be doing more, that something is wrong with you. So the victories that you're looking for is found in your daily routine. Your victories, the transformation, the shifts that you are looking for in your life is found in your daily routine. And I'm just going to share some additional things with you that I think will be of great use. So if you don't feel good about yourself and you feel very unloved, unsupported, you're not doing enough, You should be doing more. I need you. Most certainly, you could probably stop this as soon as you listen to this. After I say this, stop it and go and write. I want you to make a list of the things that you've accomplished so far. I also need you to make a gratitude list. So a gratitude list could be a running list. So you could just sit down and just write and write and write until your heart is full, and use that as a tool to reflect on throughout your day. So when you notice you're not feeling as amazing as you'd like to feel, or you notice that there's been some conversation with somebody that triggered you and you feel a type of way, you could go to this list and read this list just for proof, just for confirmation, just for validation that you are supported, you are loved, you are divinely guided. And the most fun list that I have created recently is called an abundance list. And what that basically is you acknowledging cool things that have been happening to you throughout the day, or something cool that happened throughout the day, that you didn't have to pay for something, or you didn't have to do something, or somebody offered their services, etc. Whatever feels abundant to you, I want you to just make that list. But you're going to have it, so you can have it on your notes on your phone, you could have it as a running list on your Google Drive. I prefer to have it on my Google Drive. So this is not something that I journal, this is something that I plug in as though I am, making recordings and keeping some track of some type of data. And throughout the day, I would, if something happens, like, let's say, when Starbucks would have been open, let's say I went to Starbucks and somebody bought me a Starbucks, somebody I don't even know. Or I met a friend and they were like, oh, let me sponsor you lunch today or whatever. Those things I add to my abundance list. And I add it because when I go back to that and I look at it, I realize, oh my goodness, I am loved. I am supported. I am good enough that somebody is like, hey, Latina, let me support you. So this is called an abundance list, and I think it's a really great tool, and it helps ground you. Of course, it supports you in terms of feeling gratitude, and it really makes belief. It really increases your self-belief, and that helps you manifest goals faster because there is proof that you are supported. There is proof that what you want is possible, right? Do an audit of your conversations with people. So I know, like, family and friends, they are probably people that you spend most of your time with. If there's a family member whom you love, but listen, all the girls do, or all the auntie or the cousin or the sister or the whoever is do is gossip. Find ways. This is where you have to be intentional. This is where you have to be choosing yourself first. You need to find ways that you could navigate from having those type of conversations. Or you could straight up, and I think this is probably a better option, straight up say, hey, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's switch the topic. Setting boundaries make you feel better about yourself, because what you are doing is taking back the control. You are taking control of your life. You are setting things up in a way that you want to set it up so that you could create a life that you want for yourself. So boundary setting is absolutely mandatory. And what am I going to leave with you lastly in terms of feeling better about yourself? Invest in a coach. So I'm not just saying that because I'm a coach. It doesn't have to be a coach. It could be joining a group. It could be getting a therapist. It could be signing up for a membership. It could be investing in yourself. So I said invest in a coach, but I meant invest in yourself. And you could invest in yourself by getting a therapist, getting a coach, signing up for a group coaching program, investing in a course, reading books, listening to specific audios that would support you, podcasts, literally spending time journaling. Journaling is an investment in yourself. Anything that uses time, energy, money, any type of resource is an investment in yourself. And that's a really good perspective to look at life at, right? If the things that you are engaging in are not adding value, then you need to reevaluate what you are investing in. So if friendships, relationships, conversations, the things that you're watching, the things that you're listening to, the things that you're doing are not adding value, then what are you really investing yourself into? And I hope that makes sense. Makes sense to me. So yes, guys, those were my top 3 ways so that you could start feeling better about yourself. And just for a quick recap, do the decluttering. It is necessary. You need to declutter mind, body, soul. But for the most basic part, start decluttering your physical space. Time to throw away the rubbish. Time to give away things that Tanti Merle gave your granny or your great-grandmother since 1990, 1950 something. Why do you still have that in 2021? And as I said, use your discretion, but you know for yourself that there are some things in your space that you could most certainly get rid of, right? Because everything holds energy, especially if it's some sentimental, in inverted commas, sentimental thing from some relationship, some past, some ex-lover, and it didn't work out, it wasn't good, and you're still up in that feelings, and when you think about it, you still feel sad. Why do you have that still? Everything carries energy, everything has a frequency, and if you're trying to make space for new things, then old things must go. Then you're going to be intentional. You don't just get up in the morning and go straight to social media. Be super intentional about your social media. Do an audit of the people that you follow on social media. Do an audit of the things that you listen to. When you are going on your social media, say, okay, am I going here because I'm procrastinating? Am I going on here because I want to procrastinate? Am I going on here because I'm looking for new ideas? Am I going on here because I'm trying to dismiss my own ideas? Like, be very self-aware and conscious about what it is you're doing as it pertains to social media. Keeping promises to yourself. This is how you're going to build your self-trust, build your confidence, build your intuition muscle, by keeping your promises to yourself. So if that means drinking 1 liter of water today, then you're going to drink your 1 liter of water today. If you say you're going to exercise for 10 minutes today, then you exercise for 10 minutes today. Feeling good in your body is absolutely mandatory so that you could feel good in yourself. Feeling good in your body is absolutely mandatory so that you could feel good in yourself. So everybody has health varies for different reasons. So you need to be willing to do experiments to figure out what works for you. And it's because there's no cookie cutter way. So what works for you, you need to figure that out. Give yourself permission to figure that out and do so. Of course, audit the people that are in your life, who you speak to, the type of conversations. Set your boundaries. Give yourself permission to play. Give yourself permission to create. Don't wait until you have something then to play. Don't wait until you have something then to be the version of yourself that you want to be. You get to do that right now. Most importantly, invest in yourself. In whatever form of fashion, from a coach to a therapist to a group membership to an event, reading, what you watch. Invest in yourself. If the things that you are engaging in are not adding value, then what type of investment is that? Alright guys, so that brings us to the absolute end of this episode. Practical things to make you feel better about yourself. Do let me know what resonated. Which one of these are you going to implement? Which ones have you started to implement? Of course, subscribe, share, and let me know what stood out for you. So I will talk with you very, very soon. Bye-bye.